is now 7:04, and I'll call to order the November 19th meeting of the Duncanville City Council. Our invocation tonight will be led by Councilman Dr. Jones, and that will be followed by our Pledge of Allegiance led by our Interim City Secretary, Angie Wade.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas.
For my mayor's report tonight, I would like to quickly mention that we're still in the time period where you can bring canned goods to be of service in the Ask Not Dallas County Day of Service. It's being organized by Dallas County Commissioner Clay Jenkins. Just bring them to City Hall through the 21st, and then on the 21st, we will be having a day of service for city employees and myself, council members, if they choose to join us for serving a Thanksgiving Day feast to our seniors at the Senior Center. So don't forget that part of a very important time here in the history of our country and and for Dallas as well. I have a proclamation tonight that will be being accepted by Dr. Ron Anderson. I think that's on. Whereas diabetes is a serious condition affecting approximately 1,707,000 adults in Texas who also suffer from many diabetes-related complications, including lower extremity amputation, end-stage renal disease, and blindness. And whereas in the year 2012, medical expenses related to diabetes totaled $18.24 billion in the state of Texas, and indirect expenses such as lost productivity and premature mortality totaled over $4.8 billion, and whereas Texas had approximately 24,755,926 in fiscal year 2013 funding for diabetes research from the National Institute in Diabetes and Digestive and Kidney Diseases, and received approximately $882,962 in fiscal year 2012 funding from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention for diabetes prevention programs and research. And whereas diabetes is a costly and serious epidemic that poses a major public health problem and requires continuous funding of diabetes research and programs, improved health care, and support by proven prevention measures. Now, therefore, I, Deborah Hodge, Mayor of the City of Duncanville, Texas, do hereby proclaim November 2013 as Diabetes Awareness and Prevention Month, and ask all citizens to join me in supporting and promoting diabetes awareness and prevention in the City of Duncanville. Thank you. Did you want to say a few words?
Some of you have known me a long time. I'm a citizen of Duncanville for the last 32 years. I love the city, and I want to thank you for all the work that you do here to make the city the great place that it is. I'm in my retirement years, but I couldn't retire, so I'm trying to work on prevention now, working with the American Diabetes Association and others. to create an institute in Dallas to look at prevention and things that we could do outside of, classical medicine. And the one reason I'm here today, representing Quinn Neal, who's the executive director of the American Diabetes Association of North Texas, is this is one of the most preventable diseases that we have in front of us today. It is devastating. 1 in 4 Americans will probably get diabetes. 1 in 3 of the minority population will get diabetes if we go on the same trajectory we're on. And the good news is that's a terrible thing, and Mayor Hodge gave the statistics. But on the good side of this, exercise, diet, and a change a little bit in our culture and our behavior can change all of that. And we can go back like we did before this became epidemic, starting in the 60s. So it took us a while to get here. It'll take us a while to get over. But you may be asking what you can do as a city council and a city with bike trails, exercise, urban gardening. There are lots of things that we can do as a society outside of a doctor's office that can help turn this epidemic around. So I want to thank you for being on our side with this, working with us, but I also would say that each of you can do your part in your own families. Each of us can take a responsibility here. We need not be a professional because this is about all of us, and almost all of us are faced with this challenge. It is the challenge of success. It is the challenge of living too well, perhaps, because we didn't know about diabetes like this until we all got wider seats in our stadiums. So I want to thank you so much, Mayor, and for City Councilman here, and for all your work that you do. And particularly tonight, I want to thank you for starting with prayer. We're going to need it. Thank you very much.
I have no citizens' public comment cards, so we skip that section of our meeting. We will now do our consent items. Consent item 1C, approval of an agreement between the City of Duncanville and the Duncanville Community Theater for a hotel motel tax grant in the amount of $12,000. 2C, and that's as amended. 2C, approval of an agreement between the City of Duncanville and the Duncanville Lions Club for a hotel motel tax grant in the amount of $20,000 as amended. 3C, approval of an agreement between the City of Duncanville and the D.L. Hopkins Senior Center for a hotel motel tax in the amount of $10,500 as amended. 4C has been pulled from our consent agenda.
Mayor, I move we approve these as amended.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? Motion passes 7-0. Agenda item 4, approval of an agreement between the City of Duncanville and the International Museum of Culture for a hotel motel tax grant in the amount of $25,000 as amended.
Mayor, I asked that to be pulled. I still say I agree with the Duncanville International Museum of Culture of Arts. However, the amount is what I am will be voting again for this time.
Councilman Jones.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Would you please vote? Motion passes 4-3. And at this point, I am adjourning our regular meeting. We will reconvene our briefing session and continue with our board interviews. And it is 7:12.